What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel here today. Hopefully you guys' day is going all well. In today's video I'll be breaking down sneaker botting, talking about the positives, the negatives, and giving you my personal conclusion at the end of the video. So sit back, relax, take in everything I'm saying. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you guys, but it is necessary to understand sneaker botting and tell you guys whether it's worth it. So let's talk about a common issue that happens with sneaker releases. Sneaker releases that are limited and hyped usually go hand in hand with quick sellout times. That is known within people that go for these releases. They sell out very quickly, sometimes in literal seconds, depending on the site and how much stock is on the website. However, one main contributing factor to this is people using automation software, otherwise known as bots, to go for these releases, to attain the pair and sometimes multiple pairs to obtain high profit margins when they sell them after on the resale market. And when someone bots a website, this allows someone to go for these releases in mass quantities, attain all the items they're trying to go for, and also create huge profit margin levels for themselves, satisfaction of getting the items, and also create a large substantial revenue stream for themselves. Now when I say botting within the sneaker scene, a lot of you guys who haven't bought before will think of the idea of it being easy. This is something that is completely wrong. I'm going to go ahead and explain it in today's video. I'm going to widen your perspective and hopefully you guys can understand how this works a bit more and understand that there is a process to this. It isn't as easy as just clicking a few buttons, but hopefully this video will break it down very easily for you guys. So if you guys do want to invest time into this, you guys know everything you need to know. So I think it's best to break down how the botting process works. If you're watching this video, you're either wanting to make a revenue stream for yourself or you're into these releases and you're tired of taking L's on releases, so you've turned to the dark side and you want to get a bot so you can increase your success rate and get these releases for yourselves, and possibly, if you're interested in it, make some money for yourself. To start your botting journey, you will need to attain a bot. The typical retail goes from $300 to $400, and that is the typical range. The reason why I use the word retail is because here comes the next part. These bots are not always in stock. Similarly to all these releases, they're not always in stock. They're going to sell out very quickly when they do restock, and that leads to the next problem and the pitfall I do want to talk about regarding sneaker botting. So you fuel yourself on the idea that you've watched all these live cops, you've gone on Twitter and seen a success post from these bots, you want to buy the bot, you go to the website and it's out of stock. So you turn to your next alternative, which is in-stock bots. That is something that is very common within the botting community. However, they are mostly known for bots that don't work very well. There is a few bots that are in stock that do work well. However, for the mass majority of them, they don't work well and they aren't worth investing your money into. Now here comes the first pitfall that I myself almost fell into when I first started botting 2.5 years ago, and that is cracked bots. Now if you guys have come across this, it looks like the big bots that you're seeing on Twitter and the big bots you're seeing in live cops. They look exactly the same. They appear to be the same. However, they have stupidly low prices like $50, $60. Now in your mind, you don't want to spend a huge amount on these bots and you want to have the best possible price so you have more capital to invest in these shoes. Going for these crack bots seems like a no-brainer. However, these crack bots are from the bot companies. They're from third-party sellers. They're from scam people that essentially want to sell you these bots to make money for themselves and discrediting the bot company. Now let's say you put aside your ethics and you want to go with these cracked bots. There are two things to keep in mind. You will not get bot updates from the bot developers. Keep in mind there is a middleman when it comes to this and he is selling them to you, so there is no bot updates. And the second thing, these cracked bots may not even work. If they claim to have success, you won't even know if it's from the actual bot that they're verified from the bot company or the cracked bot. And when they really win to buy the bot, they can steal your information. The information you put in bots is the same information you're going to put into these websites to check out these pairs. So let's say your name, your email, your mobile, your address, your card number, all confidential information that you're not meant to share with anyone. These people will have that information to use and that could jeopardize yourself. Now there is a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. There are two ways you can secure yourself these bots that are verified from the bot company. You either get lucky when they restock on their Twitter, so following their social media is a good idea, or the second one is that you buy it for the aftermarket price on the marketplaces for bots that I will leave links to down below. All the three places I link down below are good places to buy these bots from. I trust them. A lot of people in the community trust them. So it's a good idea to check them out. Let's say you've secured yourself your first bot and you're ready to start cooking these releases. It's not as simple as that. I move on to the next part I do want to talk about, and that is adaptive learning when it comes to these bots. You need to learn how to use these bots, and also it segues nicely into the idea that I call the pillars of botting. Now the pillars of botting is very simple: proxies, Gmails, servers, and groups. Those are the pillars of botting that goes into botting, as well as having your bot to make yourself a successful botter within the community and be able to attain multiple amounts of these items you do go for. Now at the time of recording this video, you guys are extremely lucky. When it comes to the bots these days, there's a lot of documentation that goes into these bots to make sure you guys know exactly how to use it for these releases. And on top of that, people use Zendesk and ticket systems within Discord to go ahead and answer any of your queries and make sure you guys are confident when it comes to using their bot. Now I'll be completely transparent with you guys. When you first get your first bot, it does take time how to learn it. It does take time how to learn these ideas. However, I will make this very clear right now. Once you learn how to use your first bot, learning your second bot, and learning your third bot, and learning your fourth bot, and don't worry, you will have to learn more than one bot. It becomes a lot more easier. All these same concepts are familiar, all the same ideas are familiar. So learning these bots goes from taking a couple of hours to literally 5 minutes. So you know how to use the bot correctly, and then you can go about botting these releases. And let's say you've read all the documentation for the bot and you've used the appropriate support systems to make sure you are fully confident with their support sites. Now we have to move on to the pillars of botting. The first one being proxies. You need to make sure you have good proxies for these releases. The next one is servers. A server is a place to host your bots. You need to make sure you have the right servers and good servers for your bots. Then you need to make sure you have good Gmails to make sure your captures are very, very good when it comes to these releases. And then you need to make sure you have a good group. Now the reason why I left group towards the end is because I want to go and explain it. A group is a way to source information for these releases. It is a place where all the information is packed into one group on Discord or Slack or however where they decide to host it. And essentially you can get this information like site lists as to where all these releases are going to release, so you can aid your botting experience. Now all that does sound amazing, however it does come at a cost, and it is usually a monthly cost. This usually around about $150 plus. If you do bot less than that month, then obviously the price will go down, but if you use more stuff and go for more releases, then that price will go up dramatically. Let's say you know how to use your bot and you've got all the pillars ready and you've got all the fundamentals already. You're ready to cook your releases, you're ready to make your money and get your pairs in so you can post your success picks. There is one final wall that you need to pass through, and idea you need to understand to make sure you're successful when you are botting, and that is the idea of competition. Now you have to understand there are thousands of people worldwide doing the exact same thing as you. However, they're more experienced, they've been doing this way longer than you, they're better than you, they are ahead of you. And now when I try to explain this to someone who hasn't done botting before, I commonly link it towards boxing and when a boxer goes into a boxing fight. Now the idea might seem silly, but let me explain the concept and I promise you guys that you guys will understand it fully. So let's say you go into the ring, it's your first day of boxing, in this case first day of botting, and you're going against an experienced botter, in this case an experienced boxer. You're going to go against him. Obviously the experienced boxer is going to outclass you and he's going to be more experienced, and he's overall going to be better than you at doing that task. So in the botting case, the experienced botter will have more success than you, and that could take away from your success. So that is something to keep in mind. Now the next thing I do want to talk about is the diet for the boxer. If the boxer has a good diet, his performance is going to be impacted positively. Now similarly with botting, let's replace the word diet for the phrase pillars of botting, which is proxies, servers, emails and groups. Let's say the bot has all 4 good quality of all those 4 pillars. That will affect his performance of his bot and his botting experience positively, therefore leading to better profit margin levels. However, on the flip side, if he goes ahead and has a bad diet, that will affect his performance badly. So if he goes ahead and invests in companies that are bad and not the best quality, that will affect his performance on botting. Now that I've covered everything that's got to do with botting, my own ideologies around botting, let's move on to the conclusion. Now the conclusion of today's video as to whether I think sneaker botting is worth it, I think it's worth it. It's 110% worth it. If you're successful with it, you can create massive revenue streams for yourself, and it has impacted my life. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. I personally think that is a very, very good thing to get into. Anyone in this community can attest to what I'm saying. Their life has been impacted positively through botting. They've opened doors that they've never been able to imagine doing. Botting in general has impacted my life very, very positively. Now that doesn't take away from the fact that I was in the exact same seat 2.5 years ago. I was searching Reddit, I was searching YouTube, I was searching Twitter, I was messaging people trying to learn about these bots. It is a long process, you will make mistakes. It is a long and complicated process, but it is worth it. Trust me, anything in life literally besides botting, anything at all, does not come easy if it's not worth it. That is one thing you have to keep in mind, and that goes for botting. You need to make sure you learn how to do it. You need to learn from your mistakes, and I promise you, you will be successful. So that concludes today's video. If you guys did go on to enjoy today's video, please subscribe. If you guys are new, turn on post notifications to know when I next upload, and drop a like on this video as well. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace out.